Alright, in my last video I talked about a brief description of the home buying process and went through it pretty quickly. The first step that I mentioned in that process is to figure out how you're going to be paying for the house that you decide that you want to buy. If you're paying cash, then that's a pretty simple process. Using a proof of funds statement, which could be either be a bank statement or a letter from your bank saying that you had the funds available to purchase the property. A lot of transactions that I work with are customers who are obtaining financing. There's a lot of different types of financing, and you really want to establish what you're pre-approved for before you get out there and start looking for a house. You can get out there, start looking at homes, start looking in the price range that you're interested in, and then all of a sudden find the house that you're in love with, and you picture yourself there, and you tell everybody about, and then you're like, okay, what's the next step? And then you talk to a lender, and then you can find out that you're actually not qualified for a loan, or you're not qualified for enough to buy the house that you're interested in. Or you could spend a whole year looking for a house, looking within the price range that you think that you're approved for, and then never finding anything that you quite like, and then finally talking to a lender and finding out that you're actually qualified for much more and could have been looking for other options out there the whole time. So needless to say, it's just the best thing to do to find out what you're actually pre-approved for. In talking with a lender, you can have a conversation with a mortgage professional and find out what you're pre-approved for, the amount. They'll tell you how much that you could get a loan for. They'll also tell you what your estimated payments are so that you can make sure that that's a range that you're comfortable with. They can also explain to you what your estimated closing costs are. Most loans have a down payment requirement. So depending on the type of loan you have, there might be 0% down required. There could be 3.5% of the purchase price required to be a down payment, or 5%, 10%, 20%. You need to talk to a lender so that you know what your requirements are going to be. And on top of that down payment requirement, there's also closing costs. If you're trying to save a little bit of money up front that you don't want to be out of pocket too much at closing, it's a possibility that we can negotiate with the seller to try to get them to cover your closing costs. But either way, if there's a down payment requirement, that's something that you have to come up with. So there's different types of financing. There's VA financing if you're eligible, which is a 0% down payment requirement. This is for people that are eligible because they've been involved in the military. There's FHA financing, which has certain requirements, and the down payment requirement is 3.5%. There's also conventional financing with, I've heard, as low as 5% down. There's 10% down, 20% down for conventional financing. Here in Florida, there's also programs like the Florida Bond Program that can help somebody with down payment assistance through a zero-interest loan. And there's also non-profit mortgage companies like NACA, NACA, that is a nonprofit mortgage company that can help you with a 0% down required. You want to know the details about each of these different loans. You want to talk with a professional, a mortgage professional, or to a realtor for some general information about these different types of loans to know what you're getting yourself into. For instance, I've had people come up to me and be like, yeah, we're really looking for a fixer-upper. We want a house that we can really fix up and make it our own. And but then I find out that they're doing VA or FHA financing. And the thing is that with VA and FHA financing, the house has to be up to a certain standard condition to qualify for these types of loans. So it's important to find out what types of loans you're doing to make sure you're pursuing the kind of properties that loan can purchase. And there are options. If somebody doesn't have a lot of money to put down, say that they have 3.5% to put down, but they do want to buy a house to renovate, there are renovation loans like the FHA 203K loan. So there's a lot of different loans. You need to find out what the different loan types are, which ones you can qualify for, and what are the stipulations of those loans, so you can decide what's best for you. Once you figure all this out, the type of financing, the amount you're going to be putting down, what your estimated closing costs are going to be, from this place, we have a clear target about what homes to be pursuing and to get out there and start looking at homes. So in the next video, I'll be talking about house hunting. This video is all about obtaining financing. And if you have any questions about the matter, you can comment or send a message. If you want recommended lenders, very important, I always recommend to work with a good, trusted local professional. Let me know, and I could definitely make recommendations there as well. So again, I'm Daniel Danius, realtor in Jacksonville with Exit Real Estate Gallery, helping you through the buying process.
I've been to Jacksonville.